Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the RationalInvestor.com's Daily Brief Recap. It is, I think it's Wednesday now, eh? Week is marching on. Wednesday, 6th of May. Happy spring, I suppose, to a certain degree. I hope you're all doing okay wherever you are in the world, and hopefully this sickness can start ebbing. I'll tell you, it's very challenging seeing the amount of new cases popping up in rural North America and these politicians all just collectively agreeing that there's no problem anymore. I'm not quite sure how this is going to play out, but my gut feeling is this can't play out well. I do still fully expect our next pivot to come the end of June, beginning of July. Usually, seasonally, that's a pivot anyway in the market. So just get ready, folks. Everything feels to me like we've enjoyed a really nice counter trend rally. The stock market people got off their rally, so they were able to shill stock and do their usual sell in May and walk away kind of talk. And of course, within crypto space, we've got a big fundamental driver just ahead of us. So does it make sense that they're sort of buy the rumor, sell the news kind of scenario? It makes complete sense to me. So, enjoy the uppy market while we're here. And if you can take advantage of uppers, we've got a few that are popping here. By all means, try and do so. And just be prepared. Of course, 2020 crazy nutso year anyway. We should fully expect lots and lots and lots more volatility as we work our way through this year. It's going to be a bumpy ride, folks. Just, be prepared. For the purposes, I should also mention too, we have our level 1 course program starting up here next week. Actually, the whole school, level 2 and level 3 as well. Level 2, level 3, obviously only open for those people that have completed level 1. So probably for your purposes here on YouTube, we have a raffle for a seat in the upcoming level 1 term. Next week is sort of formal registration. Get all your ducks lined up. Sort of May 11th is sort of our first official kickoff date. So with that in mind, as I said a moment ago, we have a raffle. I've been I told people on the Sunday Broiler Chicken show, got lots and lots and lots of comments. So the raffle is going to have quite a few participants. Also yesterday and Monday, lots more responses. So lots of people registering. If you have put your name down, please don't put your name down again because it's just more work for Kevin and I. If you have not put your name down yet, if you are watching this, the first one we've watched over the week, we do have a seat open for the upcoming level 1 term. So just, as it goes, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, ring Colleen's bell, which is an inside joke. Ring the bell on the YouTube page to be notified, I guess, when next broadcasts come up. And put a little note in the comments field. I would like to be included in the raffle. And then on Sunday, the 10th, we'll put all the names in a hat and see who the lucky winner is. And I have to say, the previous raffles that we've done, the gentleman who won the raffle back in like 2015, the guy's a goddamn OG shark now, and he's a core member of our site. He completed all the education programs following his level 1 program, and the guy's a killer trader now. So, I mean, it works. You might as well, is opportunity now here? It's up to you. Anyway, let's get on with the offering here and send you good people on your way. So, first and foremost, always, what the hell's the US dollar index doing? I'm feeling to a certain degree we're in kind of almost like it feels like it's the calm between the storms right now. Almost like a little lull period. And US dollar index, people were feeling very risk-on-y, break that US dollar index. But, of course, that event happened on a holiday. Soon as they came back from a holiday out of Europe, boom, U.S. dollar index goes right back up. Oh, no, we're still sort of, we don't know really where we want to go. So you could make the argument that coil keeps coiling, getting tighter and tighter and tighter. We do have this reversal bar here. It is an engulfing, bullish engulfing bar. So for the time being, U.S. dollar index still pointing up, which means sort of the risk takers sort of proxy in the world is risk is less appetite. I think we're starting to see that to a certain degree in the stock market. We hit big bullish objectives and we've just stalled. Do we go and head and shoulders out here? Do we crap out? My hunch is, believe it or not, the stock market works its way higher because I think that Bitcoin is still actually acting as a leading indicator. Actually, I don't have that chart on here, so I won't go there now. Let's see what happens, but my hunch is probably still up. And then, of course, we'll talk more about it in a bit, but our Russell 2000 versus the Dow, sort of our risk takers coming back into the market, this is W'd. And we might just sort of stair-step our way higher like we do with lots of bot setups once the W's actually come in. So I think risk on, risk off. Everybody's just sort of paused here today. But the bias, believe it or not, I'm still leaning to upside. Interesting to see gold really having a very hard time holding on to recent lows. And we got news out of the U.S. Treasury today that they are going to absolutely flood the market with supply, which technically should be sort of inflationary. It should be growthy. You know, that money's going to go into people's hands. They're going to spend it, blah, 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 blah. They've announced things like now a 20-year U.S. Treasury bond is going to be auctioned off, which is new supply. So, you know, the irony of it all is that big bullish bot, it's now underwater, but it's still working, and it basically is risking against these lows. But interestingly enough, and we kind of joked about this before, how we have like lower time frame trades that are all sort of coming and going as this higher time frame trade is still working. And on this very noticeable M failure here, I actually think you could make the argument that there's a short setup now working on the bonds looking for a test of these lows. So, again, sort of risk on, risk off. They're not flying into the bonds, and the Treasury just came out and said we're going to issue a shitload new debt, and we're going to socialize the world. So get ready for Japanification 101. You would have thought with that news of the massive reflation of the economy and massive debt issuance, you would have thought that would have helped the gold market. Inflationary, all that kind of talk. But you can see gold just really can't buy a friend here today. Here we are back up against these key lows. So we'll see. I mean, if we can inside bar here and start turning back up, maybe the gold bug's got something to cheer about. But for the time being, there just ain't anything to really do there. And, of course, if we lose this level in earnest, I think that gold bull's probably done for now. We will see. Only time will tell. As I had said there a moment ago, risk on, risk off. I mean, you can make the argument money's coming back into the junior market. And, kind of a funny joke, my little Mara trade asked everybody to wish me luck. Well, actually, this son of a gun hit a high of 62 cents this morning. Remember, I went in at 46, I think. So, I mean, I don't really want to take profits on that event. I would hate to see that was the whole rally and that was it. I would like to see moves up top here to fill in these gaps. And really, I think you could make the argument on balance. I mean, who knows how this day's going to end. Maybe they'll end it down. Who knows? But on balance, you can see we are making higher highs and higher lows. So things are technically working in a good direction here. So we'll see how it goes. Only time will tell. I did also hear news out of companies like Riot saying that they are still mining a ton of Bitcoins. And they're switching over to their new S19 generation equipment. So, people are getting ready for the transition. Probably a name like Mara is probably just simply playing on the coattails of the Bitcoin rally in the short term here. As you can see from this chart, we are ratcheting right back up to the top end of the range here. We have been posting this triangle and just simply saying, look at, we can't really make any grand decisions until this range has been broken. You can clearly see the market is trying to push higher here. And I had told you guys recently in the public, and I thought this was, fairly solid thinking here, that the bulls would get their message to cool their jets and just pause if we got our M come in on RSI. And we even talked like 2 days ago, this M had confirmed. But notice the candle, it painted that funny hammer somebody made reference to in the Broiler Chicken Show, which was, very correct. That took the M away, and the M never came in. And you can see if we look at this, we could actually start, that's a W. And we're already in nutso face rip move uppo kind of market state here. So, I actually spent a lot of time in the daily brief just going back over historically. I won't do it with you guys. If you want to do it for fun, check it out. What happens when the RSI W's in overbought zones? Turns out we quite often get a nice little face rip rally up, and then the market's done. So really that would make sense. We know we're in our 3. We know the RSI is overbought. And we also know we have a big fundamental driver. We also know that Bitcoin always loves to finish a move with a massive insano nutso face rip. So, the stage is set. And where's Happening? Happening must be coming up here in a few days, eh? So Happening is right there. We're getting pretty darn close. Frankly speaking, I thought that we were going to top out a little bit ahead of this event. And, if anything, that just goes to show. Who gives a shit about your opinion, Brian? It's meaningless. But here we are pressing higher. I will say a little bit disappointed that Ethereum actually did go and put a clothesline M in here. That's not good, right? Institutions are going to look at that and they're not going to like that at all. And when we looked at things like Bitcoin dominance and we looked at a lot of the altcoin indexes, you can see that in price action in the alts. They're looking a little tired. And then also, too, if we think about what is driving Bitcoin, if this is all about Bitcoin halving and the fundamental event, then really it has nothing to do with these things. I would like to see Litecoin and Ethereum be dragged higher with this euphoria, but I don't think it's the fundamentals that are driving Ethereum and Litecoin right now, and I think, price action is speaking for itself. So higher and higher we go. Where the top is, nobody knows. We might top out here. Be careful, because I thought it was really interesting through the daily brief. We went and took a look at the futures boys. Where do I have that? Is it over here? Yeah, here. And we're in a location where if the institutions really did want to short this thing and break this thing, this is what's called a Gert Li pattern. And you can see this is a PRZ. You can see this is an hourly June futures contract. You can see the gap that they created up top here. So in essence, they did nothing more than come up, fill the gap, and then dump. And it was so cool. In the daily brief, Kevin was telling everybody here today, at least he told me, and then I told everybody. Sometimes I stretch my bounds of acceptable behavior. But Kevin was telling me that he saw an AB equals CD on his exchange, and that was an 88.6. And remember the little clip I showed you on that Broiler Chicken Show? He loves 88.6s, and then he hit that and he shorted it and made some money this morning. So congratulations, Kevin. You the man. Now, the simple conclusion I would have here is if we do go and M out here at this PRZ, then look out below. All hell could break loose here. It's not happening now. Don't, put the cart before the horse. We're still pressing higher here. As long as we don't crap out here through the day, I think we're fine. And as I said, if we can actually hold on to these gains, that will be a new clothesline high. And, of course, that'll print a new W, an overbought W, which is like our face rip W. And I wouldn't be surprised if there's some sort of crazy violent pop here. But fingers crossed. Certainly nothing to sort of call there. This was actually a more apt illustration of that 88.6 and an AB equals CD objective. It was also the top of value and the dump following that event. And really, I put out a bunch of tweets here this morning saying this is an absolutely monstrously huge level for Bitcoin. Because you can see, this teal line is actually a bot trade level. There is the W. Remember, we mapped this out. 1 low, 2 lows, 3 lows. We've got a nice trend line breakout. There's the 25 level. Do we accept above here? If we do, believe it or not, folks, 11,500 is totally realistic in my opinion. That's that sort of blow off toppy kind of talk. And you might even start drawing some simple trend lines to sort of figure out exactly when it's going to happen. So any way you shake it, the 4-hour peeps, they're starting to go, you know what? I'm starting to think trend continuation, looking for that big face rip and the W's on RSI and all those kind of conversations. The trading range traders are like, you know what? We've rallied right up against the top end of the range. It was a small harmonic level, right? Boom, 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 boom. Remember I showed you the Gert Li off of the CME contract, 88.6, top of value. Hoag's going to be hitting that. I can understand why they're taking shots here. So you could quite literally see, as we speak right now, the battle. And quite literally, if we lose this level and we start drifting back down, then the bulls got to cool their jets. If, however, we can go and W out here, my hunch is this range is going to set up a new bot. And, remember, this is the higher time frame bot level. And you can see, there's a hell of a war going on here right now. So stay tuned, folks. This should get pretty wild here. And of course, like I said, does it really make sense that the market actually goes and M's out very politely and dumps ahead of that halvening event? I don't think so. Now, I can completely understand big face rip and then big dump. And really, all this dump does is it just takes back a big chunk of the face rip. I could see that ahead of the halvening event. And that's sort of what this original conversation was, is that you had a big rally up and then a dump that all it does is it just takes the face rip move back. And, I started off this sort of, time frame window study here thinking, okay, well, do we get this jump up into here? And then we pull back. Well, obviously that's not the case. Maybe it's something like this. Is this the face rip up? And then we dump back. But anyway you shake it, I don't know where it is. Maybe it comes in on the halvening event. But I do think that there will be a dump, but all it's going to do is just take back a lot of this recent face rippy that we've just seen. So all in all, like I've sort of shown you, June, end of June, beginning of July pivot, I still like that as a bottom. The question ultimately here is, where do we top? If this is the top, then I'm thinking down here around $3,000, which would test the original bottom. If we can get some sort of crazy ass blow off top up top, then I have to start thinking about, well, maybe we can't take out those lows on the next dip. But hopefully that gives you an idea of what I'm sort of thinking about here in the short term. Things are looking okay. I'm not the type of guy to step in front of this and start shorting this because it's still pointing up for me. But, kind of like what we did in here. Oh, we're going to break down, and then we have to start thinking down again. Here we are we going to am out? And then we have to start thinking down again, but that's just not the case today. Fingers crossed. Close nice and strong here today, please. Don't crap out. And it should just keep marching its way higher. Finish off today's conversation. Love to have a quick little boo at the poop coins. I suppose you could argue Mara is a poop stock in the crypto space. I thought this was funny. I just even mentioned this the other day in the lounge. Keep your eyes on this RDD, and bang! Out of nowhere, in comes a double. It's almost funny how this works. I'm certainly not shilling this name. Kevin told me, actually, this was the first coin that he ever bought in the crypto space, which I thought was funny. You can tell by the trading. It's total block trading. And, of course, this is Trex. So Trex is in the penalty box anyways. But those people that are like, Brian, I like the action buying at the bottom end of the range. Hell, it can't go much lower than 6 sats here. And I'm just going to shill them out if I get that, 15 to 20 sats. Well, there you go. I mean, it's just the business of trading. And then, if we think about the poop coins in general, if you were trading things like this shitcoin perp futures index, you can see the buy level off the double bottom there. Move stop to scratch, move stop to trailing. We've talked about this recently. Now your stop has to be against this hammer low. And honestly, I don't see any reason why this high can't be hit here. It looks to me like this is still pointing up, very much so. So, it is what it is. And, once we get beyond the having an event window, then I have to sort of go, okay, let's maybe just cool our jets. But until we top, we're still pointed up. All right, everybody, I think we'll leave the free video at that. Hope you got some value out of all that. All the best, and bye for now.